we've got a ton of St Kilda news to talk about today because there's been so much that has been going on. Again, on Cam McKenzie, which I really want to talk more about, it does say that Saints have registered interest in Cam McKenzie. According to Sam Edmund, St Kilda has officially registered an interest in Hawthorn's Cam McKenzie as the Saints' shopping spree continues. McKenzie's only played 12 games this year and has been subbed off in 2. He was a member of the Saints' Next Gen Academy, but the Hawks swooped with pick 7 in 2022. He's contracted until 2026. The Saints would have to part way with a first rounder, and this is being reported by SEN. Again, I think Cam McKenzie is a very good player. I think he hasn't been able to show truly what he can do at Hawthorn yet, and there will take some time to develop as well. But again, we got to remember this guy is still really, really young, and he could absolutely add a lot to a team that's willing to give him a game every week like St Kilda would look to give him. Again, what Sam Edmund said here of them, wanting a first round pick makes obviously a lot of sense. The guy was a former pick number 7, and this is a weaker draft, so you're going to have to give up a decent amount. Again, it's also being said that Hawthorn are trying to bring in maybe some picks and some assets to, again, maybe run at a Zach Butters, which we'll see if that happens. I don't know. I mean, if they get Ken Hinkley, like the rumors are saying that they are the favourite to get, the rumors also were saying a little bit ago that wherever Ken goes, Zach Butters would go. So that's definitely a space to watch here. Again, I only think the Hawks would get rid of Cam McKenzie if they were knowing that they were going to make a run at a player. Again, at the time of making this video, obviously, the Saints have pick number 7. Of course, with Richmond and West Coast very much expected to, I think, kind of pick a lot of academy players and watch them get matched. I think that pick 7 will likely go to like pick 12 or 13. Could even be like 14. That's how many good academy players are in this year's draft who might be getting bid on. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Richmond, like, when they got to pick 3, were like, we'll take Annabelle, the Brisbane Academy guy, will bid on Hewlin, we'll bid on Patterson, the other Gold Coast guy. Probably a couple other guys here and there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Richmond did that at all. So, pick 7, I think will turn into like pick 13. Would the Hawks trade away Cam McKenzie for pick 13? Normally, I don't think they would. But obviously, it seems like the Hawks are absolutely trying to make a money move, and looks like they might be trying to go for a big name midfielder. So yeah, they could absolutely move on from pick number 7. I think they're also going to get a good comp pick from Warple. A lot of these, or move on from Cam McKenzie, get the good pick maybe for Warple. They got a lot going on. They're going to have some assets, I think, to offer these teams for a guy like Zach Butters or whoever it might be. Again, a little report that I saw, it was a little rumor that was going around that I think I should maybe touch on as well, is that, I mean, Jacob Hopper and Tim Taranto, like, there's big clubs looking at them, just asking Richmond a question. And I don't want to talk about that really too much at all. I'm just throwing it in there because that has actually been rumored online. I don't think it's true, but until an actual source comes about and talks about it fully is when I'll have a true, meaningful discussion about that on camera. But it is really interesting, though, that I think maybe Hawthorn are calling some teams up just to ask about good midfielders and see where they go. So again, Saints registering interest in Cam McKenzie makes sense. They should absolutely go for him if the Hawks are maybe looking to bring some picks and assets in. So that's, makes a lot of sense. Again, there was a report here as well by Tom Morris that actually said that Saints have registered some late interest in Jack Silvagni. I don't necessarily know if I want to talk about this one too much because, like how he describes it in the video, Jack Silvagni is, I think, pretty far down the path with the Dogs and Collingwood. Again, he has officially told Carlton he's leaving, which, I mean, I don't blame him. Carlton were absolutely booty cheeks last year, and he definitely needs a change of scenery. So I wouldn't even be surprised by the time making this video if he has nominated Collingwood or the Dogs. So I won't talk about it too much, but I think, yeah, I'm assuming my money's going to be based that he's going to be interested in going to Collingwood, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the time this video comes out, that was official. But again, Another player the Saints have just registered late interest in. Like, they've got so much salary cap, it's insane. It is being said that the Saints are spreading the word that they will acquire Flanders after making contact with Gold Coast about a trade in the middle of the year. Sam Edmund on Sam Flanders. That is insane. Like, that has come out of nowhere. We knew that Flanders was getting interest from other teams in the middle of the year. Again, it was being said that Richmond were a massive team interested in Sam Flanders. Like, I spoke about that on the channel before as well. But I don't know how this happens. Like, I think assuming we're saying that, you know, Max King is on about 900k, right? That means they've got a lot of money to spend. Like, to put it into perspective, Melbourne are paying like 4 players over $1 million, and Stephen May and Lever are like on close to $1 million. You know, Melbourne are paying Pickett, who's supposed to be on like 1.3 starting soon. Petrarca's supposed to be on 1.4, I think, next season. Oliver will be on like 1.2. Gawn's on like 1.1. They're paying a lot of players, right? So that's the kind of comparison. If you look at that to St Kilda, we're only paying Max King on 900k. But now it's different. Like, Messiah Wanganeen-Miller is on $2 million from next year. That's insane. Then Tom De Koning, it has been pretty much confirmed now that the deal will be $1.8 million for the first couple years. Again, 1.8 and 2 million is much more than Melbourne paying Petrarca like 1.4 and Pickett 1.3. Like, that is a big difference. Again, I'm still assuming they probably got enough in the tank for a guy, you know, to make like $1 million, and enough in the tank for another guy to make like 800. But I don't know, especially with Flanders. Like, Flanders is supposed to be on pretty good money, like 750, 800 maybe. They're going to offer him more, and I would assume it'd be like a ballpark deal of 900. I'd assume maybe 900k a year. If they did that, and they're still looking at Lee Kalia, who's going to be like 700k. Liam Ryan has requested a trade. I don't know if it's going to be St Kilda, but if it is, that's another one. They're paying so many guys here, and Sam Flanders, to me, I wouldn't think he'd be cheap. Like, I don't think he'd have to be a first this year, because Gold Coast have so many academy guys. You might be able to get away with parting ways with a second round pick, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick this year for them to match. But the issue is what they'd have to give up next year. Like, in this year's draft, St Kilda's second round pick will probably end up being like 40. Their third and fourth will end up being like 60 and 80, something crazy. So, yes, those picks would theoretically help with them matching their academy guys, but you're definitely not going to be able to get Sam Flanders for like roughly pick 40, 60, and 80. No freaking way. So you'd have to probably give up a future first. And I just think it is a lot. That is 4 picks for one player, but that's just what you're going to have to part ways with, because, I mean, like 40, 60, and 80 are just terrible. And that's all you're going to have to be able to offer up other than your first this year. And Gold Coast aren't going to want their first this year, because obviously they would lose that with matching the players, you know, that they're going to have to match probably in the top 5 or 6 picks in Zeke Ewell, and I think it's Dylan Patterson's the other guy. So they're going to be wanting first next year. So 4 picks for one player, even though they're not very good picks, don't get me wrong, that is still, when you say it out loud, it's kind of a lot, but that's what you're going to have to do, or you're not going to be able to get Sam Flanders. Again, I don't think you'd worry too much about giving away a future first. Like, theoretically, if you bring in De Koning, Flanders, Aaliyah, maybe Liam Ryan, and Cam McKenzie, so those 5 guys, I mean, theoretically, you should be contending for the 8 easily. Like, your midfield should completely revolutionise having De Koning, Flanders, and McKenzie in there, with now Messiah Wanganeen-Miller, who's played like the second half of the year in there. Should be a way different midfield. But yeah, it is still a lot. There is still so much going on there, but I mean, what an interesting offseason would it be if St Kilda just went balls to the wall, like it is saying, like these reports are saying, and gave up all their picks this year and a future first next year. Would it be worth it? Would they make the 8? I mean, Jesus Christ, you would hope so. If you got De Koning, Flanders, Aaliyah, freaking Liam Ryan, and Cam McKenzie, that is an insane haul of players, and some very good players. Don't get me wrong. So, I mean, yeah, the fact that the Saints are interested in Sam Flanders, that looks like it could be happening. I mean, just begs the question to me, does this mean other teams are going to go for Sam Flanders, like a Richmond, or is he just going to go to St Kilda? Again, and why would Gold Coast part ways with him anyway? That's the other thing. Like, do Gold Coast need to part ways with him? No. He's still contracted for next year. I mean, I'd part ways with him just next year if I was them. I don't think you even have to rush to move him. So that's the other thing. Gold Coast might have to pay overs because there's no reason for Gold Coast to also even move this guy. They can get, you know, picks to match with other ways. You know, to match Euland and Patterson, whatever. They can get those picks to match in other ways. They don't necessarily need to trade Flanders, or at least I wouldn't think, in my opinion. But again, there's a lot of different things going on here. Of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. For all the latest AFL trade news, you know, all of the above, definitely don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions on what do you guys think is going to happen, what do you guys think won't. Again, subscribe to the channel for the latest sports content news, my gaming/movie channel, which will also be getting linked down below, as well as my Instagram, which if you haven't gone and followed that already, please go and do so. That will also be getting linked down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.